Shall we just
Rocking the
wait for?
shoes.
Aurora, I love that beard, man. Looks fine.
Thanks, bro.
Oh, there. Firehawk found a different pair of pants. I like those. What are you doing, Drax? That does not look right on the stream.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Michael
I'm not.
Jackson zombie.
It looks like you've broken your rib cage or something.
Something wasn't right.
Hello there. I voted
There-
remain. Hello there.
Exactly.
I
to
am a.
remain.
I need to recalibrate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're looking a little odd.
The system thinks I'm 3-3.
Alright.
Okay,
so
Shyla, I'm really kind of disappointed that you put such normative norms on this environment. I thought it was.
No, there's nothing normative about this environment. We're going upstairs. You want to come, Firehawk?
You know who Galileo is from
Yeah.
Linden
I
Lab?
love this.
Okay.
He
I love
called me
this
a
Yeah, I know
normie.
Galileo. He called you a normie?
Yeah, and I didn't know what that was. And then I said, "Is that a guy who goes to Target and buys 20 T-shirts and then he's fine for the next 5 years?" And he says, "Yeah, that's kind of."
We're all leaving, Drax.
Oh wait, we're already streaming and people are leaving me. All right,
Come
fair
on.
enough. And please, yeah, okay, here we go. I'll just do this for the streaming audience. Hello, my name is Dragster. I'm not hosting this program, but I know where to go because the arrow points in this direction. Does everybody see this on the stream? The arrow points in this direction. Behind me is Harvest, 114, but this is 113, right? Let me see. Yeah, we are streaming. Good. So I'm now gonna go into the house because it also says 113 here, so I'm safe.
Is on
Desktop.
desktop.
A desktop //sit.
All
I
right.
mean, it's not
Thank you,
bad, modelless
Firehawk.
design. I thought it was gonna be harder, but I've been following a few tutorials and stuff.
Here's Aurora. Aurora, I got your email. I don't know if I've sent you one to establish. I've been very busy.
Don't worry, don't worry. I'll just wait for you. No worries.
Waiting is the hardest part. Okay.
Hey, I got a really good poem for Autumn because
Oh.
we had a. I
Right,
think
these
I
new
read it already.
Shyla, these people here, these fellas are very undisciplined. They're laughing at the wrong cues. We not even made a
It's
joke yet.
okay. Sometimes I laugh at the wrong cues.
One
Sorry,
guy-
I
No, I'm.
I kind of typed the wrong command into chat. I'm sorry.
I know
Oh,
it's.
I see.
Well, I misspell sit all the time. Woohoo!
Yeah,
That was-
just-
now you can laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can laugh.
No, but we're
Sorry.
very open-minded
My
here.
bad.
We're very inclusive. I mean, we're not VR chat. We even, we don't even reject misogynist 13-year-olds because we feel like we can turn them around. That's how we feel
Well,
like in
we don't
Sansar.
reject anybody.
We're like
Come on,
psychiatrists.
Come on in. No, we're not like psychiatrists.
Why not?
I mean, I hope not.
I don't know.
That's
but I
a
just
dangerous
never-
thing to
I
claim.
I never felt that I was.
I could be anybody in VR.
Well, you can be anybody in VR, but you made it plural, as in.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah, I didn't want to
all
lump
of
you in.
us.
I
Yeah,
didn't want to lump
no.
you in because then Tom Cruise is gonna come after you. You know, Scientologists, they don't like them psychiatrists. He's gonna
No,
come there
no,
with
We're
the
gonna
E
get
meter.
Scientology.
He's come to the E meter and he's gonna apply. Oops. Oh, how did
No.
this beer bottle
Okay,
get him? Oh,
cool.
whatever.
It's working.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I think so. Our theme today, is change.
Hmm.
And the reason I picked this as a theme is because I do not like change. I like things to pretty much stay even keel going through life, and that's not how life is. Life changes all the time, so I don't know how. Like I'm pretty convinced that my genetic model doesn't survive, and it can't.
You know,
You can't
The Super
do it
Gecko?
in this fast changing.
The- the
the Super
Super
Gecko
Gecko.
doesn't
Okay.
survive, and
Despite
and
the
so-
name.
yeah, despite the name, the Super Gecko doesn't survive. So, but a friend of mine, because I talk about how I don't like change, a friend of mine made me this shirt that says across the front, "I don't like change. I don't like," and then like I would put whatever is changing. Like right now, oh hey, awesome boy. Well, all right, you're gonna have to live up to that now. You picked that name.
Hey, awesome.
The awesome boy left. I challenged
Yeah,
him, and he's like, "I'm out of here."
I saw him for a brief second.
Oh,
Okay,
there
Oh,
he
there he
is.
is.
Hey,
There he is.
awesome.
Hey, awesome boy. Welcome to Open Mic.
It's so like
Oh, yeah, this
Um,
world has a lot of assets.
takes like
Yeah, it has
10
me.
hours.
10
Hours.
hours to
Let's
get in here.
let's be reasonable with our assessment here, my friends.
I think
So-
that shows a lot of patience, which is a very good trait,
Exactly.
awesome boy.
patience is a virtue.
So they say. I used to pray for patience, and I just had all kinds of shit going on that demanded patience, so I stopped.
Now continue.
Yeah,
You say you
depending.
got the shirt. I don't like change, and I don't like
Yeah, I got
underneath
this
it. You
shirt, and then I can put whatever is changing. Like right now,
The weather.
there's a a car I don't drive, and I really need to get rid of it. It just costs me money to have it parked there,
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like any of it. I had to go look for the title, and I couldn't find it. So then I had to do something new, which is the same as change. Like if you've never done it before, it's new. So then I had to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles online, fill out this form. I had to put these bizarre numbers in them, which really blew my mind because what they did was I didn't have these bizarre numbers, and so if I had one, my VIN, right, which I did have, I had the
The
VIN.
vehicle identification number. We have a lot of Europeans here. They don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
VIN,
true.
vehicle identification number. But so I find that, and then through that I can find all these other numbers online, and I'm like, if you can find all those other numbers
Numbers!
online, why don't I just put the number on the form and you just auto-populate it? Because I'm techie like that.
That's
And
what I said.
and
Shyla is actually the Super Gecko is actually very tech savvy. And let me add one
yeah, and
quick
I'm in
thing.
I'm in direct. I'm in desktop mode because VR mode is difficult for me. It's not fully accessible for me yet. But don't go around back of me.
Just
Be careful there,
striking,
Drax.
striking the wings.
Just striking the yeah. I'm liking these wings.
Wings are mighty fine.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
wanting to,
So because now I feel like I can fly, even though in Sansar we can't fly, which I think is a real deficit. But
Not unless we get an
You
you
email.
could
Okay.
technically glitch fly, which is teleporting using that. There's this
Yeah.
like glitch where you can literally fly by teleporting.
Hello.
Oh, I like that. I'll
What-
have to find it. Yes, Drax, you've got your hand up.
I just wanted to say, Shyla, did you remind our European friends here because you are American and we do things in order in America? No, but have you reminded them of the sort of the format, which is that it's just like these open
Yeah,
mics are
you just
open
come up.
and you
Yeah,
can
you
come
just
up,
come
you
up
can,
to the mic.
yeah,
And Drax will sit down if you
I
want
can
to say
totally
something.
sit down.
You just
I actually
you
should
just
sit
come up
down
in the mic
right
and
now.
you talk about change and how change has impacted your life. Like I think even myself, like if you really want to get very ethereal and stuff about it, and I'm sorry for this background humming that I've got coming through my new headset.
I
But if you
do
want to
not
get
hear that at all.
No,
really, I
that's
can see
filtered
the
out.
lines. Is it filtered
Yeah,
out?
me either.
Fantastic. All right, I see the lines.
It's just
so
like
that's good.
minimal.
So like even coming into the world, we affect change. Like when our parents had us, and when we were babies, like their whole lives changed. And then if we have children, our whole lives change. So I see a hand raised in the back. Awesome boy, come on up.
Was
You have to come to the mic. You have to speak into the mic. Awesome, boy.
Yeah, because that's where my camera is. So come on up.
There you go.
so I was just wanting to ask a question.
You
That's
have to
literally
turn
was.
around. You have to speak into the
around.
I
mic.
know.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
What is your
awesome.
question,
You got it. You got it.
awesome boy?
I'm trying to remember what. It's like, what was I going to? I literally forgot what I was
Something
going to
about
ask.
change.
You forgot. Well, what is Gorf? Gorf is on your shirt. What is Gorf? Or is it Gorp? No, it's Gorf.
Well, since you're at the mic, you can talk about change. What does change mean to you? What do you think when you hear the word
I
change?
feel change. I like change like as learning about new things in life, and
Yeah.
not trying to choose a side to go crazy.
Ah, Like what? Like when
Like Sansar?
do you feel you go
Yeah.
crazy when you learn new things?
No, I was just saying crazy because that just came into my head.
Hmm. Are you
Yeah, I
are
think
you
Oh,
afraid of
also,
change?
one question. Am I slightly early? Just saying.
No.
no, you were on
No,
time. You were great.
What?
you're
I was
completely
on
fine.
time? I
Yeah.
did not know I was on time. Speaking about change, is time of giving instead of taking.
Oh man,
Oh,
this is good
interesting. That
stuff.
is deep. Good stuff,
Um.
awesome boy.
Oh
You are
man,
you are living up to your name. I am happy.
you are putting stuff here in the ether into the room that is fantastic stuff to think about. I think
Is time
time,
coming or going?
is it giving or taking? I
And
It's
Mrs.
let
taking
Shyla,
for
Miss
me.
Shyla, I have
It's
something.
taking. It's taking
what
from
is
me.
it?
I,
Uh,
can I come to the mic?
no.
Oh, awesome
Awesome
boys.
boy is
Okay,
up
I'm
to the
sorry. Okay,
bike.
okay, okay.
Hold that thought. Just hold it. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, awesome boy? About change?
I mean, what do you think about the time? You put the question out. You want
Yeah,
to
is it
take a stab at it?
giving or
Like, is it
taking?
giving or taking?
They'll say that it's trying to take our time away from what we truly believe in.
Hmm.
Interesting.
But is it time taking that, or is it other?
It's time.
It's
Because
time. So,
it's trying to take the things that we love.
Ah,
so
okay.
like what? Like what does it take away? Like when people we love pass away?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My guinea pigs when I was 12. It's true.
So, but you
They
said
died.
something more
But one
ethereal.
question to that, in changing that, is I can't. Because ages ago, when I was quite young, I actually, my pet, snake died. I was quite sad inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of
I
snake?
love, it's called Lily, the snake.
Oh,
Quite friendly
Lily the
snake.
snake.
Did she just was she sick or do I have no experience with snakes. Do
Died of age.
okay.
Just age. But you said
Wow.
something really interesting. You said time is taking away the things we believe in.
Yeah.
And like what kind of things do you mean like our childhood beliefs and as we become adults we lose?
Yeah, it's something similar to that.
Hmm.
Explain. Help me understand. Because that just sounds really cool concept.
That does sound cool because it's also sorry. Yeah.
I'll let you finish what you're saying.
Who?
Do you mean Drax?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
Drax. Go
him
ahead.
finish to what he was saying.
God, but I wanted to have you speak. You're putting such fantastic ideas on the table. I cannot contain myself. What you said about that the time takes stuff away we believe, and then Shyla said, wait a minute, maybe it's, yeah, it does take it away because what we believe may change, right? What we believe at 10 years old may change when we're 20. I know that you're quite young, and when I was your age, I believed completely different things than what I'm now, and that is what time took away from me. But at the same time, time also gave me some other stuff. Time gave me a lot of well, knowledge and patience and all sorts of really good things. It took away stuff, but it 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 gave me, and so it's uh, yeah, it's really it's something I could
I don't know, Drax.
It's
no,
quite emotional stuff to be believing in.
yeah.
I'm agreeing with Awesome Boy because I see no harm in when we're really young and we're two and we just like bubbles and running around the
By the way,
house
just
and
give me a
stuff like
second.
that.
I'm just quickly doing something.
Sure, sure. Um,
Speak up a
but
little bit, Shyla. You're very, very low.
am I very low? Let
Yeah,
me check my
just bring it
settings
up a
here.
little bit.
One moment. Microphone level. Here we go. How's that?
Better?
Oh, that's better.
Good.
Yeah.
A little bit more. How's that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're good.
Okay,
You're good.
all
You're
right,
good.
all right. We'll go there. Um, so what I
Sorry.
wanted. Oh no, no,
What
that
were
was
you?
fine. So
What
what
were
I
you
wanted to
saying?
say is, well, like my childhood feelings, like when I'm just a happy child. Before I learn about having to share, before I learn, it's just me.
Yeah.
Like I have this, and you know what they say psychologically. They say all we can think about is ourselves as a child.
Yeah.
But what is so wrong with those happy thoughts? And they do these happy thoughts as we socialize and stuff. We suddenly realize we can't be happy all the time.
You're putting something interesting on the table. I would say there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Um,
wrong with observing that baby or even thinking back to when we were that baby and
wait,
cherishing that memory. But I would
wait.
also say that, one sec, awesome boy. I would also say that um, the realization that we can't always be happy, I personally think that that's really important. I think that because that gives us the depth, I guess. I mean, I could elaborate, but I won't. So, but in essence, what you're saying in a nutshell, thinking back to when we were a baby, or actually observing babies, which then leads us to coming back to reminiscing. I mean, that's what happened with me. A friend of mine has a young child, and I'm looking at the child and go like, wow, this carefree time, just like you were saying, Shyla, this is quite fantastic, and I think we all yearn for that on some level. And sometimes we have dreams like that, and those are very important things. And yeah, in that sense, time does
But
take that
it's
away.
those when you talk about time taking that away,
Yep.
that is why,
Right.
and I'm just gonna put this out there. That is why we don't ship food overstock, which we have, in empty ships, which are going to Africa,
Hmm.
because somebody's afraid that if they do that for free, I don't know what they're afraid of, but it's fear based. You can lay money on it. It's fear based.
Afraid of what? Like what?
Um,
Are you saying
wait.
that this? Are you? I'm not sure what you're getting at. Are you getting at the fact that we don't give stuff
I
away for
think,
free? That it's sort of this merit-based
yeah, because
thing?
a
And
child will give you their toy.
Hey, yeah, can
oh,
I
I
ask him?
Asking
see.
two things.
Oh, ask two things, awesome boy. Let awesome
Um,
boy talk.
um, I was going to say, could you repeat the thing you start off saying when you came up to the mic, to the microphone thing again? Because I had to quickly go and do something.
Oh no, no, no. He waited for you. He waited
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
There
You
No,
was
no,
start.
I
And he
Oh,
waited
came
for
back.
you. You didn't
oh,
miss
okay.
anything.
there was nothing said. Okay.
What else? Also, it's another thing to there to go. Why stand around in game when you can be out having fun and playing games and that with friends and those who are close to you?
Oh, so why are we in VR?
Ah, is that a question you're asking
Mm.
everybody in the room, or you're
No, no, no.
contemplating
That
this
is
yourself?
a no. That was the thing I was pointing out to the thing like the whole um time thing when I first came up here.
Hmm. Well,
Well, I
that.
think if I were still able bodied, I would have never discovered VR.
Hmm.
I would have never met
Mm.
Drax, who's been an amazing influence in my life. I would have never met the hundreds, maybe even thousands at this point, of people that I've met. I wouldn't have been able to meet that many people in the physical world. And so the way I try to look at it, because I'm
Again,
primarily at home, I'm primarily homebound. So the way I try to look at it is this is just a different experience, an opportunity, and it's a different experience for anybody. You could be able bodied. And I think had
yeah.
somebody shown me this when I was able bodied, I would have enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't be as involved with it because I was an adrenaline junkie in the physical world. So I was busy chasing tornadoes and uh, spelunking, which is cave crawling, and doing
Why
things
were
like
you
that.
trying to chase tornadoes?
That's what I asked her when I met her.
Mm.
It's fascinating hobby. Go,
it's
yeah, tell
it's
us.
yeah, it is fascinating. It's Mother Nature, and it's a part of Mother Nature we don't fully
Yeah.
understand. We are getting better at understanding it, And I chased with a group from the College of DuPage, and there's a professor there, and he's very well versed. And you know,
Can you tell
when
us
we
how
chase,
you
we're
do it, how
also
you did it?
well through the. So what first happened was I've always been interested in severe weather. That's something from childhood. I've been very interested in and loved. I remember once we were driving to Palm Springs, and there was a bunch of lightning coming down, and I just would watch. It was nighttime. I could see them hitting the mountains, see the lightning hitting the tips of the mountains, and just being fascinated. And so
Yeah,
one
and
day I got a book for the holiday, and it was about storms and tornadoes and storm chasing. And in it, it mentioned the College of DuPage, which is not far from me. And so the way they do it is you take a couple of classes on safety. Then you attend a couple of classes on. They talk about the number of joules that it requires to have the energy to even create
Shyla, I'm
a
sorry, but
tornado and things like that.
I have no patience. I want to know, are you sitting in a truck? Are you driving behind? Are people flying? Are hats flying? Are the leaves coming down? Are you swaying like this? Is the truck hitting a
Well, the
tree?
idea is to not be too close, to
Ah,
be able to observe. And then one of the things about being with the College of DuPage is you also had to take a severe weather training seminar, which allowed you to call the National Weather Service in the United States to report severe weather. And
ah.
so, and you have a special number that you can dial that is not available to the public, and you are considered a weather spotter. And so, one
also,
of the things we did
wait,
is at the
I'm sorry
College of
for
DuPage
interrupting a
is
second. So
um,
you're basically like observing tornadoes and that to see if they're getting strong, if they're getting worse or anything like that.
right. What we're doing is we're chasing the storm, and a lot of times you chase a storm and no tornado drops. There's a lot of supercells that
Oh, I
don't drop
see. See, this I
tornadoes,
wasn't even.
and
No, yeah, yeah.
but if you
Mm.
do see a tornado, or even if you see rotation in the supercell that could drop a tornado, and you have to understand the storm. There's an updraft and a downdraft, and if you see all these things coming together, then you would call the National Weather Service and tell them that conditions are right. And if you see the funnel cloud, then you absolutely call them and say there's a funnel on the ground. And of course, we all have GPS, so we can tell them very accurately where that funnel is. And they can get the word out to communities that might be in the path because they tend to go northeast. So they can then map that and say to these communities, hey, if you have a cellar, get in a cellar. A lot of the plain states is hard granite rock. There's no way to build a cellar like Oklahoma and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Where will
Yeah,
people go if they don't have a basement? But I was just
yeah,
but you explained this really well. So you sometimes you could go after a storm and nothing even the tornado doesn't even drop, right? It could
Right.
just be a storm, it could be rain, it could be winds, like very high
hmm
winds or
Well, it depends on where you are in relation to the storm. So there's definitely an updraft and a downdraft, and that it's windy, but it's not knockdown winds. But I've also gone through the. Uh, I've punched through a storm once with a driver who was trying to. Uh, hey, Game Sprite, good to see you again. Who was trying to see a tornado and was having no success. We had about 100 tornadoes in southern Illinois, and we were riding around looking for them and didn't find any of them. And so he decided to punch a storm, which was probably one of the scariest
what
things
does
I've done
that
in
mean?
in
Punch a
my life.
storm.
Well, usually we stay on the outskirts. You try to stay to the southeast, southwest, and then you look at the tornado, and you look at the storm, and you're under the storm because they're huge, but you're not under the rotation part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I know it
Um,
like the Hollywood movies where they drive in and then the truck flies all over the place. And
right, and
punching a
most
storm
of the
means he wants to
storm.
drive through the funnel. Is that what he?
Well, not the funnel, but to drive through the heart of the storm to get to the southeast side where the funnel cloud should drop. And we
Awesome
came
boys.
out. Sure, awesome boy. Go ahead.
um, it's more thing that we really should prepare for the future on the horizon where anything could happen.
Well,
Yes.
I agree with that. I mean, climate change is real,
Yep.
and it should be our top priority.
Can I pick up what Awesome
Yeah.
Boy said earlier about, and you picked it up with the being mobility impaired. Um, Again, this is where I say always the story that's also in the documentary where Shyla says that one time your counselor said, "Oh, you're going to become part of the screen generation because you're in virtual worlds that much," and he was basically advising against you being so much in virtual worlds, and you point out how kind of ridiculous that black and white thinking is, and Game Boy. Awesome Boy
I
said
don't
earlier.
Awesome
mind you
boy.
calling me Game Boy if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
so but Awesome Boy would
Right.
put this on the table early about like the like why are you spending so much time in VR and this kind of thing, and you hear this all the time, why don't you go outside and smell the flowers? um my
Which
personal
actually quite a lot of people actually say, why are you wasting your life doing this when you could be outside enjoying life to the
Right.
fullest?
And so
You know,
here's
but I find that I meet here in the virtual world
yeah
people who are out there, and
but
through them, I can be a part
Yeah.
of the
yeah,
real world.
exactly, and that's what I want to take, and if anybody wants to go to the mic, I will shut up in a second
Also, yeah.
and sit down. Please come up to the mic, but let me do a quick take and then I'll sit back down. What I would respond to this is the following. I distinguish between active and passive stuff, right? So a screen can be used in very, very passive ways. You can watch the dumbest TV, um, and it's very passive. You could use the same screen to do what we're doing, which is to interact human to human, and we're learning something, and we're having a conversation, and we're um, engaging with people from all over the world with very different backgrounds. We're trying to learn from them. We're trying to be um, respectful and understanding, and we want to kind of grow. So this is a fundamentally different way to use a screen. So the difference between, oh, why don't you go outside and enjoy life to the fullest, is a very simplistic way of looking at that in my mind. On the other hand, and I'll shut up in a minute, on the other hand, there is no doubt that there is such a thing um, as addiction to screens or to worlds or to games. But addiction is very clearly defined, and it has to do with basically a negative outcome for your everyday life, and that is something that I cannot be the judge. This is a complex thing, and you need to find ways uh, to seek help if you feel you're in this thing. But to lump everybody in uh, blanketly in the game space, in the so-called real space, is frankly ridiculous. Life is all about balance. Okay, Santa Claus, why don't you go up to the mic?
All right.
You're not even real,
Okay.
Santa
I mean, I'm
Claus.
a bit early to the
What?
party, but
Oh, sorry, Game
I
Sprite. I just ruined Game Sprite's life. I'm sorry. Of course he's
yeah.
real. Of course. He comes from the North Pole.
I mean, you can call
Yeah,
me
I
a
mean,
cosplay if you want, but yeah, Santa isn't real. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. Anyway,
Oh, I wanted to be one of his ho ho ho's.
Oh.
I can still give you presents if you
oh
want.
my.
Right.
What type of presents?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Anyway.
sometimes people are finicky about the presents. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be. If you get a gift, you should just say thank you.
Yes,
True.
I'm finicky
they
about the
should be
future, not so
support.
much the presents.
They should support anything that they get, because what you get, someone else might never ever get at all, even to those poor countries that need
Yep.
help.
So all the boys and girls who are getting iPhone 10s
Oh yeah.
instead of 11s
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
don't
yeah.
get me
this
don't
year,
get me started. Oh
No,
my
no,
you
no,
God.
know, I
exactly.
don't want to hear it.
You got
All
me
right, go
started
ahead.
again because I'm reading a book
Go.
about
No, no, just sit
e-waste.
there.
Okay.
Shh.
Okay.
Let
Shh.
Aurora
Quiet.
Polaris go.
All
Go,
right.
Aurora.
All right. But yeah, just to like go on what Drax was saying about the active and passive in front of a screen. Well, right now, like some people already know this because I've told them. but I managed to break my heel like 2 weeks ago. So of course, like
Oh.
I can't do much except stay at home
Mhm.
right now with a cast on my leg, and that's a bit annoying. It's not painful at all, but it's just annoying because I can't really do much. I decided to go out last Saturday with my friends, and that was a pain having to walk around with crutches for like an hour and a half, and then I got like massive bruises on my arms because I'd been going walking left and right, left and right. But you know, like that's what you need to do every once in a while. But having said that, there's been a lot of active working in front of a screen, which is what normally most people would do anyway for some kind of job. Like, for example, if they're working as
Exactly.
developers, programming, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all active. I mean, not only you are going to be earning money, or even maybe not, who knows, maybe you're just doing it as a hobby. But like as for me, I do it as a hobby, and as for work, I do audio and music production, and that is mainly active. The passive side of things is more like when you just lie down, watch some Twitch, some YouTube, some Netflix, whatever you want to watch, and
Yeah.
that's like the more I don't know. It's not the learning kind of things, but you know, you just want to like relax and take a step back. But having
Well, and
said that,
sometimes that's good. I mean, there's a difference
yeah,
between just taking a
yeah.
day off and willing to have some mush in the brain
Oh yeah, sure,
and
sure, sure.
doing that every day.
I,
Yeah.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Shyla,
No, no, definitely. Come up, come up.
I'm every
Come on
teacher's
up,
worst
Drax.
nightmare. You know, the interesting thing is, I was every teacher's worst nightmare when I was in school, and now I'm still, but in different ways.
And now you're just Shyla's worst
Now,
nightmare.
I agree with everything that
Bullshit.
was said, but I wanted to add something, and I know it's not on topic, but we're already off topic in a way, in a good way, I think. Um, because this is a pet peeve of mine. Uh,
We
I
always go off topic. That's the point of the show.
yeah, I feel that there is, I mean, I'm an avid reader. I know I hit people over the head with it, but I also feel that reading, especially books, not websites or even good articles, but really sort of narratives that immerse you is a super important thing, not only to train your brain to exercise that muscle, but also to be actually actively building worlds in your head by reading. So when Aurora Borealis just talked about, relaxing and taking a step back by watching something on Twitch and stuff like that. I'm not going to judge anybody who does that, but I would like to suggest a different way of relaxing because I feel that this is in fact a problem, and you see a lot of people who do screen work or who do whatever work, and at the end of the day, they're so full with stuff, and often it's meaningless stuff because we're all in this world. We're forced to earn a living with really bullshit jobs. Let's face it. Um, I think it's terrible. There's a lot of ideas how to change that, and I do have hope. But most people do really meaningless stuff, meaning they're not appreciated. They're not appreciated by their colleagues or by whoever they do this stuff for. Think of any examples. I can think of a million. And so they have to do this in order to keep a roof over their head and pay their bills. Then they come back home, and then very often they're so drained of energy that the only thing they can do is to consume garbage. So it's that I feel is a problem. So I would just suggest, because it's not good for your own health, I would suggest feed yourself something nourishing. Shyla wrote this awesome poem, which is in our documentary, Our Digital Selves, with the gorging
Yeah,
and
I'll read
stuff
it
like
if you
that.
want. I
Please
brought
do
it
read
up.
it. This is one of my favorite poems because this is what we're doing as a human race, and I think it's a problem. So now everybody goes like, Drax, what are you suggesting then? Reading a book? Well, hell yeah, number one. But also, just unplug. My headphones broke. My iPhone headphones broke. They're dead. I'm not going to buy new ones because they're ridiculously expensive. So I walked the dog this morning, and I'm addicted to political podcasts. I'll tell you this right now. And I was like, oh shit, now I have to walk the dog, and I can't catch up on my podcast. You know what? It was awesome. I walked for a half hour. It was quiet. It was the morning. I hear the sounds. And I go like, wow, let's listen to these trees. Let's listen to the, oh, here's the ambulance coming, stuff like that, you know? So,
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm an audiophile. Like I can't go out without any kind of headphone or something.
Of
yeah,
course you would.
But that's just me. It's like, yeah, it's
okay.
basically like a drug. I have to listen to something when I'm out. If I'm on my own, of course. Like if I'm with friends, I'm
I've
gonna
been
Yeah.
I've been in
listen
the
to
I wish I
music
could get.
business for 35 years. I've you can look me up. I mixed and played on I don't know 50, 60 records. Some of them are still selling quite well. I love audio. I love music. I mix it. I play it without silence, without reflecting on what you're doing, without the balance, without actually totally unplugging and doing almost meditation on silence. You will never ever let me tell you, this might sound harsh, but as somebody who has been a professional musician for a long time, you will never be able to produce something of lasting value.
I know
That's
what you mean. I know
that's
what
what
you
I
mean.
tell
Like you need
all
to,
students that I ever had. You gotta
yeah,
have
yeah,
this balance. If you basically try to unplug, if you like, I don't know, you're mixing, let's say hip hop or whatever or EDM, and then you unplug with EDM at night, it's not gonna work. It's not.
yeah. No, I
You will.
mean, yeah, your ears are muscles at the
Oh,
end of the day, so you need to like give them a rest as well. That's
Yeah,
true.
but
That's true.
also the
but
reflection. You need to reflect
what
on.
was it?
Yeah, awesome. I'm sorry. Awesome boy, you want to say
Um,
something?
what was I going to? No,
This is the
okay.
balance. The point is
Yeah.
balance
Um,
and
and I was trying to remember what I was gonna say. What was it? Oh yeah, one thing was on what Apollo said with the whole um money thing that you've been playing games and earning money in that, or was it you? I can't remember, but it's all I'm saying about the whole that. I wish I would be able to do that.
oh, earning money
Oh,
in a game.
yeah, no, like playing games to earn money in that. But there's also,
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
I
test
was
game
gonna
tester.
ask this, um, is this you? I gotten is like you guys should make a Discord things for like certain people to help them with things similar to the whole open mic event thing type of that on Discord.
Yeah, we've got channels on Discord.
Oh,
Yeah, you can
Yeah, yeah.
if you want to open a new one. I don't know if that should be possible,
yeah.
even though it's my server.
Also,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
oh,
Maybe he just doesn't know about it.
I'm actually a specific answer for a question for Drax, which I can easily wait until after to ask him about.
Okay. I tell you what, I'll read this poem. It's kind of long. I wrote it, if you recall, the media did a lot of coverage on police shootings for a while there, back in, I guess
Oh
this is
nine.
2020. No, this is 2016, I think. But
In Dallas,
um,
yes.
and then there was a march in Dallas, which
Hmm.
was done against police brutality, but which the police actually were helping. And some of the police were walking with. It was really kind of amazing. And then the shooter came out and began shooting at the police. Um, and so that really, like all these shootings, affected me. I hope it continues to affect me. I hope I don't become numb to it ever. And at the same time, this therapist was talking to me about being part of the screen generation, and so this is what came out. An open poem to my former therapist. Seriously, isolating. You think I isolate with my words, my actions, you screwed into that blabber box? Did you learn something this week from that hate mongering, pest infesting, discombobulating, and distorting visual portrayal of life? Seriously, I cried this week. Yeah, I cried. Did you know? No. Yeah, well, probably because I isolate, right? Guess what? I spoke to an avatar who was there, right there in Dallas. Did you speak to anyone who was right there? Do you know anyone who does anything to make anything better than the way things are? Anyone? Am I angry? Yeah, I'm angry. Your head high in the clouds as if I should work harder, as if all I do is never enough, as if my limitations should be surpassed. Why, I should just invite folks over to, oh yeah, to watch me lay here and navigate my world from a bed. Yeah, that's high on their calendar, baby. I can't imagine why there's no waiting list for that one. So what do? I lay here, typing words and changing this bastardized world, this world that thinks love is hoarding, gorging, sucking the life out of everything that's weak. Go for it, world. You got a super gecko to deal with. I'm cute, but I'm punchy, have a long tongue, a gargantuan bite. Don't laugh, dude. You think this is a game. It's not. This is my life. You watch some guy videotape the death of a cop, some woman videotape the death of her fiancé, and then nothing. You do nothing. You're an asshole for judging me, an asshole. I wrote a letter. I didn't just light a candle. I wrote another letter and another. I called an old activist friend. We strategized. We socialized. We cried. Yeah, remember? I cried. Do you even remember I said that? What? Our time is up? Continue next week? Nah, I don't think so. This is a waste. More a waste than my antisocial, isolating virtual world shit of a life. Remember, I'm angry. Remember? And they're not just saying, no justice, no peace, moron. They're saying their lives matter. My life matters too. I don't wish it on anyone, but it still matters. It matters to me. It's gotta be mine. Not your godforsaken assumption of what healthy is for a home-based person like me. So I won't be here next week, or the week after. I got a life that matters, and there's no time to waste. Peace out, dude. You're cool. You just don't get it, like so many don't get it, or do anything about whether they get it, or even understand how they don't get it. If I festered over every person who didn't get it, I'd be dead inside and out. So you're cool. You're not alone. But I gotta let you go. You're not good for me. You don't get me, or hear me, or even understand me. I suppose I could march about that too. I wouldn't be marching alone, for sure. If all the people don't get marched and talked and hugged and cried, well, it would all work better. It would work. Do you get we all have blood? We all feel. We all matter. We all are different. Do you get that? There isn't a mold. There's no book. Life is scary shit when it's like that, isn't it? There's not even answers. Just one day at a time, one experience at a time, one moment at a time, and then we decide what to do in that moment, for good or bad, better or worse, right or wrong, and it is sometimes so wrong, and we can't take it back, and it hurts, and we cry. Remember? I cried this week. It hurt. I wish I had just watched it from afar on a blubbering machine, but I wrote, I spoke, I felt. I'll never be the same. So I'm not isolating in my room or virtual world or whatever, and maybe one day we'll meet again, but you'll have to leave this office and those blabbery machines. I'm tired of explaining me. So from now on, if you want to know me, come find me. I'm not hiding. Find me. That's an open letter to my former therapist.
Awesome, Shyla. This the power of words and
Oh, guys,
reflecting.
one thing. You know, while you were reading that poem, I said that I could meditate listening to this
That's
Yeah.
wonderful,
and
awesome.
reflect back on everything that has happened in the world.
That's what I'm talking about, awesome. That is literally awesome because I think that that connects us. That's the tissue that connects human beings across the universe. It can be words, it can be music, but it's yeah, it's amazing.
Did you
Um,
actually send that to your ther- therapist and that,
I think it.
Shyla? Or did you just have it saved and never actually sent it?
You need to create a censored version and then send it to her.
Yeah, I've never sent it. I did send a letter, however, expressing some of these things to him, and I sent it with a lot of research on the virtual world and how the virtual world has helped many, many people with illnesses and physical
Disabilities and that.
limitations. Yes. And so, I don't know if he read it, but
Did you sign it with buzz off? If you want to see Shyla read this in the movie, Google Our Digital Selves. Google Our Digital Selves, it comes right up. It's my favorite scene when Shyla reads this. And she built, in Second Life, she built a wonderful house or a structure with the poems displayed on it. Yeah, it's cool.
Is it the one on YouTube?
a
Actually,
poetry gallery. Yes, this is it. I just popped the link in there.
It's
I think
somewhere on
that's
And-
it.
YouTube. I don't know what
guys,
YouTube is.
I
I'm
got
old.
like try the poems that you are doing that you could make a world where it's like literally big giant text in like sky and
Yeah.
that read out.
That's what she did. That's what she does in Second Life. Shyla, you have to do this here. We have to get this going.
All right.
You can
I'm hearing
import
you.
the same textures into
This
Ask
is
Bluebell. She's gonna put it out there, and you can make a world and display. That's what Awesome Boy said. And
that's what I
display.
would like to do.
We walk
I
through
think
it.
that
A cool idea
Oh.
with it would also be to implement
What
maybe
game
an
sprite?
audio player. A cool idea to sort of implement with that idea too would be an audio player. So if you hit a
Yes.
button, it will play each poem as you go through. Because I know
Yes.
I
some
would.
people can't struggle with reading.
That
so
would also require doing like a couple of scripting points.
Yeah, but that
So
should be
like say
possible.
like get to
I mean,
this
That's
point
super
and it
easy.
be a simple
stops.
if
Yeah,
statement.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to do
if
that.
button is pushed, run audio file blank.
Yep. That's in the simple scripts.
Yeah,
In the
I
simple
think.
script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
this
need
is
to make
good. Now, Shyla, the pressure's on because you have to
This is change.
This is well, you can record. Just take this one. Let's start with this one. You have the little recording machine. Record this one clean. Send it to me. I'll clean it up, and then we'll figure out with Granddad. He can put the scripts in there. Granddad has already something. You can click on it. Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, Granddad also has a slideshow, so we could do the voice in time with the slideshow because I think this is on 6 textures,
Yeah, but it
6
would.
separate
But I
textures.
think it would be cool if you actually walk through like it's a tunnel or it's like like
Yeah.
you
Not
walk.
like
Yeah,
a
'cause-
gallery. It's going to
Yeah,
be a
'cause-
gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can walk through it, and while you're doing that, think about while walking down the tour, you can think about the things that are going on in
Yes.
in the poem.
Exactly, because then it's more reflective like that, and then you take your own time, and the segments would then stop. The audio would stop as you can just maybe stop and then keep going and yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
okay,
That's
so I'll
another
get
cool
together
thing
with
as well
Granddad
with
and
it.
Bluebell. What,
A
Sprite?
cool idea with that as well is you could link the Discord for this place, or even make a new one for it, and after everyone listens to the different poems, they can express how they feel about it and different ideas that they relate to inside like a text chat like that to help open
Yeah, I
up
like
the
that
Listen,
idea too.
this is a great idea. Let me say something. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we did a project called Virtual Guantanamo in Second Life, and we rebuilt the Guantanamo prison camp to just show, how imprisoning people in general is bad. There's a lot of nuance to it. But one of the things, what GameSprite what reminded me this, we had a place, we had basically like a journal was there for people who visited it, and they could write in this journal. And in Second Life, it's fairly easy. There are objects that can behave like that, and I'm sure in Sansa this should be possible. Because then what would be very cool, like you were saying, GameStrap, people who visit, they can write in a guest book, and then other people can see that in a guest book, or the guest book can, of course, also be a display or whatnot. I mean, that would be very cool. Yes, first row.
I was actually going to say, what about making it's kind of expanding on the idea Sprite was doing for the whole text thing. what about making an entire new Discord server and add the bits into there?
You
Because then it's an entire new separate thing for all the poems and things for that.
you guys love
I think
Discord
I'd
servers.
rather.
That's
Yeah.
You
what
want
I said.
you want me to start doing that for you?
No. I'd like to be on the 114 Harvest server. That's a
Yeah,
part of this community, so I would like it to be a channel on the 114
yeah,
Harvest server. Is that
Perhaps like make a
possible?
category or
absolutely.
something
We can
for it.
make a
Yeah.
new category, but absolutely glad you said this, Charlotte. I'm not against, and awesome. You could even administer that or be in that channel. We'll create it, but it was deliberate to keep it together in one place because we already live in such a fragmented society. And one of our goals at 114 Harvest is that we have these consistent events, right? And they're always in this little village or different instances of the village, but they all like we wanted to establish 114 Harvest within Sansar as a place where basically it's like Cheers, I don't know, you're too young for the TV show.
Uh-huh.
It's a place where you can always go, and there's always interesting people, and there's always some.
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah,
I
it's
remember
the best.
Like that kind of sounds familiar to a villain pub on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's not with villains. It's a pub, but it's not with villains.
I gotta say, I don't know about this as well.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Oh my
Shyla,
goodness.
who
I
are
don't.
these people?
I don't
Yeah, but
think it
I'm
was that.
only.
I live in
Hold
Italy,
on.
so
I'm.
I
I was
know,
like,
I know. You have okay. I forgive you. Lucy B is
I'm
here,
only
by the way.
21 and I know this show. I used to watch it all the
Okay,
time.
check out
Yeah,
Cheers.
same.
Yeah, Cheers
all
is
right,
good.
well,
Hey, Lucy B.
I'm just sat here, I'm just standing here 'cause better angle.
Oh, okay,
What do you mean it's better angle? You could do F4 and then you can fly the camera around.
right.
Um,
Yeah, F4.
oh
So,
come on!
uh,
Not every single server has it though.
Hmm?
Most do. It's just
Not
the
not every
Nexus and like
single
Finland stuff.
not every single world has
oh,
it,
that
so
that is
it's kind of
correct.
hard
That is a
to
correct
say which is
observation.
which.
That's a correct observation. But the reason is also, boy, that a lot of people restrict that, or not a lot, but you can restrict the F4. You can disable it, and think about it. It makes sense if, for example, there's been a bunch of stand-up comedy shows with some high-profile real-life comedians. For example, Linden Lab has restricted that, so people can't just cam into the backstage room, right? So they want this experience to be you can only see out of your eyes basically. And so that's and
Yeah.
you can imagine if somebody makes a game where it would be super easy to cheat if you had that F4 camera capability. That's the reason, but
Yeah,
we
like some of the game modes that Fire Goats made, like using
yeah.
the F4 just ruined everything.
Yep. Yep.
But at least the test on every server you go into so you can sort of understand what the rules and boundaries are for it. But yeah, you can use it.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Does anybody else want to we're running against the top of the hour. If anybody wants to chime in on change, I have a quick thing and then I'll sit back down. I'm currently working on a feature film involving an 82-year-old jazz singer who was a child star in the 40s.
Oh,
It's absolutely amazing. She was a singer and dancer in the 40s. Her mother was sort of brutally pushing her into show business. She was hugely successful. When she grew up in her 20s, she started her own career, managing herself. She played with every important musician of the era. And at the age of 26, she gave up show business and never sang again. She's now 82, and I was introduced to her in the virtual world of Second Life. And she's now coming back to music. She's slowly starting to sing. She's starting to record. She's very mobility impaired, but people do take care of her. But she cannot go out. She cannot travel. But she's singing in the virtual world. It's an absolutely amazing story. And so,
um, I
one
was
one
gonna.
second, one second. I'll let you chime in a sec. Why this has to do with change is what I'm doing every morning, my time, and the evening, her time. we talk for about an hour, and I just let her talk, and I record it, and we talk about this and that. We talk about show business. We talk about life. It to me, it's like I have like a date with Buddha. Seriously, it's like it's unbelievable. I'm just sitting there listening to this woman, and you see the power of of the virtual world. And she said this morning about change. Change is hard. Changing the body changes. What Shyla said earlier, the body doesn't work anymore. Or doesn't. You can't rely on the body. Um, but she said something so funny. She said, I have this Lexus in my garage, and it does remind me of you, Charlotte. She said, I have this Lexus in the garage. I can't drive anymore. I got to figure out what to do with this Lexus. And then she said, you know what? But I don't really care about the Lexus because it doesn't represent mobility. I can fly in here.
Right.
In second, I can fly. I mean, flying is cooler than driving a Lexus. So that was so funny, and yeah, it's change, and she embraces this change in a way that is incredibly inspiring. Yeah.
I was more asking, is there going to be any events tomorrow at like 6 to 7? Because if so,
What
then I
time zone?
won't be.
The events list has an updated time zone for
No,
updates
it's
for
more.
your own time zone.
I'm just saying tomorrow. For me,
The
Yeah,
events list
you can see them.
over a week, and it shows you exactly what is happening in your
Yep.
time zone.
That is actually really brilliant. You always see it in your
because
local zone.
because I go boxing at tomorrow at 6 to
Where do you
7.
go?
It's from 6 o'clock to 7
Uh-huh.
o'clock.
but we don't know what your time zone is, so it's better if you just
England,
look
I
at
believe,
Yukai?
from the
Okay.
site,
yourself.
so
Yeah.
GMT. Either way, in the events tab, it will tell you every event in your local time. So, for example, for
it's
me, my
personalized.
local time, this event is from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh.
And it shows that.
Yeah. For me, it's 1:30 until 2:30.
Are you in
So
Australia?
Yes.
We went through
How
it
do you
last
like
week.
my Australian accent, mate? Let's have a
actually-
Foster's together, shall we?
You know what,
No,
I
that's
don't know what that
Wait.
is.
guys?
Sounds
Never.
more Austrian.
Guys,
Austrian.
I
never-
know.
Yeah.
Wait to finish. Never mind. I'll be able to join events and that. The time there's literally no events at from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Hmm. So what are you
Tomorrow.
doing at that time? I'm curious. You said
He said
Boxing.
boxing.
oh, boxing. You're going to
Yeah,
boxing. You're doing boxing, physical, actual boxing.
I used to
Wow.
do kickboxing.
Wow.
Oh.
Namaste.
Wow. I do yoga. I'm very peaceful. I can be
Nowadays,
knocked out
I'm
by a
yoga.
boxer
I
while
do
I'm in some
yogurt.
weird downward dog pose.
Thank you.
Oh wait, I'm
I
only
could
doing box. Hey, I'm only doing boxing because it helps me relinquish anger.
Dude, I'm not making fun of you. I think that's awesome
I-
what you're doing. You know what? A friend of mine who I went to school with, he has a club in Munich, and he's doing amazing work with young people like yourself. He's doing.
Wait,
I have to send you a
what
clip.
is
There's
it
actually
called?
it's called Boxwerk. It's in Munich, Germany.
Oh,
You can look it up.
oh,
Boxwerk, like WERK.
Munich, not York.
yeah.
It's very cool.
Because
Kraftwerk.
I go to
Like Kraftwerk, exactly.
I go to Body and Soul Gym.
Ah, I think they have
That
those
sounds
too.
In
some
Mansfield.
yoga going on as well, body and soul.
Yeah,
The gyms are literally called Body and Soul.
cool. Well, I think that's very cool. I was very impressed. I had no
Nice.
idea what can be done with boxing, and I think that's cool that you're doing it. We have new popping right before, and then you can catch your boxing. Shyla, are you still around?
I am still here. I was just letting you guys go at it.
Would
I
you
think we're
listening
at
to
the
the
top of the hour.
What
Would
time
you
is it?
listening to the? It's currently like nearly 1 minute to 6. for me.
Yeah, it's top of the hour.
Well, we'll teach
Uh,
something very important to Awesome Dog because this is what we know from broadcasting,
awesome
Shyla and
boy.
I. Awesome.
It's awesome boy.
You know why I said Awesome Dog?
Oh, you can just call me Ace if you want me to, because it's quite an easy
I
to
couldn't even
remember.
run. I couldn't even run for president, and I'm half the age of Joe Biden, and I make double the gaffes. That was an inside joke. But Awesome Boy. The reason why I called you Awesome Dog. There's a friend of mine. He's in Sansar. His name is a Bremelin Wolf. He makes awesome bunny rabbit avatars. I think he's re-rigging them. And he has a great animation experience where you can test his dances. A Bremelin wolf, and his company is called Awesome Dog. Awesome
Oh, that
Dog.
sounds cool.
And
Yeah.
he has a place. I should drop but okay, where was I? Oh yeah, we wanted to the reason we say at top of the hour, you know what? Then you're time zone independent. So when somebody in the virtual world asks you what time is it, just say it's close to the bottom of the hour. It's a quarter
or
to,
top of the hour.
top of the hour, quarter past, but don't say the actual hour because then people will fill that in their respective time zones. That's what I learned in broadcasting.
I don't know fully for that.
I'm a
It's
broadcasting
currently.
professional and a yoga
Oh,
amateur.
actually, the question I was asking, I was actually, is there anywhere where I can actually find where your broadcast things are?
Yes, that is very difficult to find though. Now you have
No,
to
no.
do the following. You have to go to a computer. You have to turn
My
it
computer.
on. See, this is old people's comedy. I'm sorry. You turn it on, then you go to something called a website browser, they call it these days, right? Then you go to google.co.uk. Now, this is very important. Don't go to google.ca because that's in Canada. They don't have it in Canada. And don't go to google.oz, which is in Australia. I don't know. Australian, I don't know. And then you go
Hey
to
you. Hey you. Oh Z, what is it? Australia's the land of Oz. What
yes,
is that?
I don't
Wait,
know.
shouldn't New
See the
Zealand be
wizard? Don't wonder if a wizard of
.co.nz?
Oz.
It is NZ. It's not. Yes, but wait.
NZ, yeah.
And
No,
then,
NZ's New Zealand, isn't it? And AU
Guys,
is
guys,
Australia.
but
let him finish his inside
thi-
his comedy joke.
this is inside. This is very, very in-depth now tutorial that I'm giving you, awesome boy. So then, when you have that browser up, now the browsers they come in different flavors. They're called sometimes they're called Chrome, and it's weird because the Chrome browser is
Just tell
actually
me the
is yellow.
website.
It's not even Chrome, dude. Then there's another one if you're more like if you're more
You
the
encouraged this,
if you're
awesome.
more the
You told
outdoors
us
guy,
to
then
all
you
be
you take
quiet
a
so he
browser
could
called
finish his bit.
Safari. Safari. Woohoo! Let's shoot some elephants. Boom, 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 boom. You go to
If
Safari.
you're unfortunate enough to be in a forest
Okay,
where
my
there's a
camera's
fire,
going to
you
a
may
different
find a
room.
fox that
Oh
may
no!
be on fire. It's
Oh,
quite
Godzilla.
unfortunate,
right.
but
If you're a fox, on fire, you go to Firefox. But then, wait, we're almost there. Now, very important. Now, you go to this thing called
If you
Google.
like to sing,
It's time
you
for
can use
him to
opera.
start doing. Everybody do the floss dance.
no.
In Google, you
I'm
type in
joking.
YouTube.
Nothing's gonna.
Okay, no, seriously,
Uh,
please go to youtube.com/Dragster. That's all my
Sorry.
stuff.
Why does nobody go to Dragster's site? Because it takes a half hour to get the address out of them.
People get stuck at the fact that Google Chrome is actually yellow, red, and whatever other color, and not Chrome. And then they,
Why did I ask him this?
Drex, everyone gets confused at the fact that you forgot to mention about logging into the computer,
oh
double
yes,
clicking on the
yes,
emblem,
oh crap,
uninstalling
Why did you remind him,
Explorer after installing
Sprite?
Chrome.
Putting the plug
Why?
into the socket.
Why, Sprite? Why did you
Well,
remind
frankly,
But-
we
him?
all know the solution to everything.
I have
We have called customer service and gotten the solution every
to
time.
call Microsoft
Unplug the
customer
device for
service.
10 seconds. Unplug the
No.
device for
No.
10
Oh,
seconds until all the lights are out, and then plug it back in, and magically it will work.
yes, wait, I have awesome,
And that's
awesome
how
one.
you please-
Wait,
Drex's
I have it, I have it.
Just-
I have it. Here's the thing. You call 1-800-Microsoft and you ask them how to get to Dragster's website, and they will know that. They no, okay. Let's be serious
They've
for
heard it
just.
so
Can
many
you just tell me the
times.
website, please?
Yes,
And it's
it's
not a
Say it like
scam.
5 times, dude. Just fucking Google
it's
his
YouTube
name.
it's youtube.com/Dragster. That's the YouTube channel, which and I have nice playlists on
Thanks.
there. Yeah, so it's youtube.com/Dragster.
Oh wait, oh guys, can I tell you a joke? Why did
Yes,
the chicken cross the road?
because it
Oh,
couldn't
no.
plug the computer back in and do it in a virtual world. Yeah, but
No, because it
Because it was
wasn't
fucking
chicken,
mad.
guys, because it was a chicken apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Okay,
Like the chicken crossed the road.
let me
'Cause
think
it was
about
a
this.
chicken apocalypse.
Chicken apocalypse. Get it
Oh,
right.
chicken
Chicken
apocalypse.
apocalypse.
Oh, let me repeat.
Chicken games right. Okay, I'm slow.
It sounds like something you would eat in a fast food restaurant.
Don't get it.
Okay,
Because
how many Linden
Drumstick
Lab
roll?
employees does it take to to go to the Nexus?
I'm still
What
streaming.
was that?
it
I'm
takes
still
one.
streaming. Be careful.
Okay,
I
be
still have the
careful.
stream on.
Okay, wait. How many
Ebby,
people?
I'm
How
not
many
a part
people?
of this, Ebby.
Guys,
Yeah.
how many people does it take to change a light bulb? Zero. Because there was no light bulb.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
How many people does it take to tell a good joke? Doesn't matter, just as long as it's good.
wow, that is whoa, that's good. That is good. That is
Probably the
good.
best
Alright.
one of the season.
Hey,
Why
Sprite.
couldn't
Sprite,
why
come on.
couldn't
I'm here every week.
Wait, guys. Sprite.
That is
Come up to the
Ba-dum-bum.
mic.
Oh
Nope,
my
just
god.
Sprite,
Sprite,
come up to the
Pepsi.
mic and tell
Game
everyone
Sprite.
else the joke.
Game Sprite wins.
why
There's
did
only one joke I
why
need to
couldn't
tell.
the
My
witches play baseball?
Wow.
Why did
Because
the...
they were busy playing
They couldn't get a handle
Quidditch.
on it.
No, they forgot their bats.
Oh my god. Okay, one
Well, if we're gonna do that humor, I know several of these jokes.
Okay, two psychologists meet each other. You know, like two psychologists who studied in college like 20 years ago, right? They meet each other randomly on the street after 20 years. Says the one psychologist to the other, "Hey, how am I doing?" Okay.
Terribly, clearly.
Oh my god.
Bum.
That took me actually 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Really?
but it's rewarding. 10 seconds. It's the best 10 seconds of your life.
Hold on, I'll be right back. My cat's being annoying.
Oh, I thought she was
Okay,
peeing.
bad kitty.
Okay,
Bad
I'm going
kitty.
to cut the stream. This was wonderful.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll cut the stream.
Thank you guys. I gotta run out. Because
Bye, Drax.
goodbye and thanks for coming and awesome. Let's let's finish with this. What would you call the channel on the 114 Harvest Discord? You tell me a name and then I'll create that channel.
What is called?
Maybe we can have it a
Uh,
poetry channel or a reflection channel or a deep channel. Deep, we could call it deep. Where you can ask deep
Did I miss any
questions.
good jokes?
No.
Good
We'll make another joke channel too.
We're finished.
No, we are not gonna have a joke channel.
Okay, but I like the channel.
Nobody's gonna moderate that.
Listen, but seriously, awesome. Started today with some real deep, cool stuff. Maybe we should call the channel Deep Thought, huh?
Yeah, deep
Well,
Deep
that
thought.
actually
no,
sounds
that
good.
sounds like, I think for Americans that's too close to deep throat. And
No, Deep Thought is also
Yes.
I
from.
was actually thinking of
get-
another.
That's the
I literally-
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Yes,
Galaxy.
yeah,
Guys,
I think-
what
I
is
think
deep
so.
throat?
Deep throat was the
He's 13.
Guys,
Yeah.
guys.
yeah no it's okay.
Just leave
Deep
the sweet
throat there was
innocent
a
child alone.
political
Exactly.
bad things happening politically, and
He
the
was an
whistleblower
informant.
was called Deep Throat.
That's right. He was the informant
It was
in the.
it was
in the-
back in Nixon and Watergate.
That is actually
Oh.
really interesting. And
Burn Dixon.
no, Richard
So
Nixon.
I
We know which Nixon we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many Nixons does it take
It's,
to screw in a light bulb?
0.
Well, just at the Watergate Hotel, they didn't have any. Okay, okay. Good. I gotta
No,
go.
no, no,
I'll create
because the
that
lights
channel,
were
and
on.
then I have to attend to my family
Okay.
because
Oh,
yes,
Just call it
no.
the ethereal channel.
actually.